my calendar. 6 notes. We've got to do like 2 assignments a day the next few days, which is pretty brutal. And pushing back a test beyond the holiday would not usually do most students much of a service. Of course, you got 60 days to forget everything. So here's what we're going to do. Take out your 6.5 and someone will come stamp it. Take out your 6.2 and 6.3, so we're going to talk about those. Do all paper shuffling now. Okay. I know you are so handsome and lovely. It breaks my heart to love you. Clearly deserve your hand. You are very. I'm very what? Kind of. Yeah. I'll show you the lecture in my class. All right, kids. Now that your papers are out, we've got to do a whole bunch of stuff at once. So please leave Naomi to stamp the papers on her own. She can tell if you've done 1 through 25 or not. If they did it on there when they're all done, sure. Now, is there confusion that I can answer? Because I need to move on through a variety of other topics. Can I help anyone? Lauren, can I ease your frustrated confusion?
I'm going to figure it out.
You did? Okay. Now please look up. A list of things for you to know. Loser essay is due Thursday. Does anybody need that essay? Here are the results for period 3. 2 negatives, 2 positives. This was the most well-matched period. You can see that all the debates in your period were pretty close. I mean, at least you weren't 19 to 0.
Ooh. How is that even possible? Is that where they just terrible?
That's called losing in glorious form. That's called being a great success at losing. Anyway,
I mean, if you look at it from a logical standpoint, the people that want that are no better off than the people that want.
No, I know. Because how would we grade those? But please look up. There was no significant bias in either of these, and statistically, this is not a significant bias either, since one period changing by a couple of votes would have made them both equal. All things considered, I feel that all of the debates were inherently winnable. And the proof is in the pudding, that they were all won on both sides roughly as often. Loser essays are due Thursday. Any questions about that? Now, this is a big deal, so I'm really glad every one of you is present today. Please look up. Your winter break reading quiz is next Monday, the Monday after the holiday. Your Unit 6 exam is this Friday. Both of those, Michael, please be quiet because this is a big announcement. Both of those assignments have a makeup on Tuesday, the 8th of January. If you miss Friday's exam, I'll see you Tuesday after the holiday. If you missed Monday's winter break reading quiz, I would see you the following day on Tuesday, the 8th of January. Are there any questions about making up those two assignments?
Is that like an out-of-class makeup? You're just talking about in class?
I'm talking about sometime that day if you are back on campus. So unless your absence continues, you'd have to figure out when to do it that day. On Tuesday the 8th, I will keep my lunch clear and I'll be available after school if necessary. Anybody else? Next, I'd like to show you the trailer to tonight's after-school environmental film. Yeah? Yes. Well, it should be. I've had 2 years where I couldn't make it. You can imagine, when we get back from the break, I've got like 10 days to grade your Unit 6 exam, record all your Unit 6 paperwork that you're just turning in now, plus the winter break reading quiz, plus the final. It gets kind of tight. So if anything drops off into the second semester, it's the winter break reading quiz. Anything else from anyone else? Okay. I am showing tonight at 6 p.m. in this room a movie called The End of Poverty. This movie was a really big whoop in the awards documentary circuit. And I gotta warn you, it's not an environmental science movie, and it's extremely powerful. It's like a big deal. This is like the most inflammatory movie I will show all year. I believe that reasonable people could certainly debate if tonight's movie is fair or not, and if it's accurate or not. It's also about economics, which is not really my personal forte, to be honest with you. I'm kind of allergic to discussions of economics. I'm showing this movie not as a statement, but mostly as a, what do you think about this? So please don't assume I'm trying to lecture you about how evil the Western world is. But kind of. Here we go.
In a world where there is so much wealth, with modern cities and plentiful resources, how can we still have so much poverty?
How is it that in countries in which there is growing wealth, there are actually more poor people than there were before? Many people will have to suffer. Many people will have to be forced into homelessness, landlessness. Some will have to die because we are following a particular economic model.
Sub-Saharan Africa is paying $25,000 every minute to northern predators. I think people don't understand that it is actually the South that is financing the North.
Countries série de politiques qui sont appliquées dans les pays du Sud, en effet, sont dictées à partir de Washington.
Now, we're typically wrong about a lot of these theories. Of course, they did not lead to economic growth, and yet they pursued it. My interpretation is because Wall Street wanted it.
I feel like that is very hard. Sometimes you go without see anything happen now.
Haya gente que no tenga agua para beber, su suerte, su estabilidad es frágil.
Less than 5% of the world's population live in the United States. We are consuming over 25% of the world's resources.
D'ores et déjà, on dépasse la moyenne mondiale, on dépasse d'environ 30% de la capacité de régénération de l'atmosphère.
This system is an absolute failure.
But it's actually an interesting question to ask, I think. I don't want to pretend that this is the only side of the argument, but a lot of us feel this general, perhaps misplaced, but perhaps accurate guilt at our wealth. In some case, our personal wealth, in some case, our societal wealth. And I kind of got to throw it out there, do we need poverty on one side of the coin for us to have wealth on our side of the coin? It's kind of hard to imagine how we're all going to be rich together. If everybody shows up to the pizza party, can everybody pig out? Only if you got a really big pizza, and we got too many people at the pizza party already, so... Yeah. I think that it's sort of a tough question, and maybe we need the world to have poor people, and maybe we're okay with that, and maybe we're not. It's a really uncomfortable film, and so I can understand that a lot of people might feel defensive, and that's why I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm not trying to be like, you're a bad person because you're rich. I think it's a really gnarly couple of questions that we probably should think about more than we're thinking about it. This may not be the right class, and so I put it after school, and you're welcome to take it or leave it. I'm not making any statements. I'm just adding a commentary to the conversation. Yes?
You say the solution is in our hands. Do they actually provide, what seems to be some kind of viable alternative?
To be perfectly honest with you, I've read a whole bunch of reviews and then I skimmed it. Yeah. So I haven't actually seen the whole movie yet. No, I'll watch it tonight, so I can answer the movie for you if I want. Yeah.
How long is it?
I think it's an hour and 40 minutes. Anybody else?
Where was it made?
The box isn't here, but not too long ago. It's relatively recent. I'm sorry that I don't have the exact time. I might be able to find this out for you. 2009. It was released at the end of 2009, I believe, or the beginning of 2010. So it's pretty new. It has a lot of recent numbers. Okay. Enough about that. Forget about the poor. Let's get back to class. In assignment 6.2, we already talked about the reasons that disease poses an increasing threat to humanity, I believe. We talked about how our immune systems are malappropriated to our current world. I quickly want to talk about number 51. 51, which is the last study goal in assignment 6.2. Then we'll go to 6.3. Study Goal 51 says, describe the three major ways to reach zero population growth in humans. Age of first childbearing, birth control, and national programs. I'm assuming that you all did your homework, so I don't want to patronize you by reading the book to you